But yeah, how long have you been commentating for?
Officially, it's my first year.
Yeah.
But
you're like the content guy, aren't you?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of content.
Yeah.
Done it for Footy Soccer this year too.
Yeah.
But I did radio stuff as well for the A-League
okay,
the last couple of years as well.
Yeah.
So I've had a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, officially, like we're talking like paid work. This is the first time, first year of it.
Yeah, you like it?
It's good.
Yeah.
For a side gig, man.
Yeah.
It's either that or I go to the DoorDash or something like that. You'd rather do this, man.
Yeah, exactly. Whereabouts do you live?
I'm in Liverpool.
Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah, so it could be a little bit of a drive out here.
Yeah, I'm at Oran Park.
Oh, fuck, no way.
Yeah.
We've got a house in Spring Farm.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, you play out there?
Do I play out there?
Yeah, you play soccer?
No, I don't play soccer. I used to play, but...
Yeah, no, I've a couple games against Oran Park this year.
Getting a bit old now.
How old are you?
41. Yeah.
Don't look a day over 30, mate.
It's the Filipino genes.
That's brilliant, man.
When we hit 60, we'll look like we're 100 years old.
I feel like a lot of Asian countries, they age quite well. So even the East Asian, like East Asian people, they do, you know, they'll hit their hundreds or something. They don't know what that is.
Yeah,
they can move like a 62.
Yeah.
So lucky genes, man.
Do you play soccer out there?
Yeah, I play for Harrington Park.
Harrington Park? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a little bit of fun. Always nine, it's nothing too crap shot.
Yeah. I used to play for Penrith RSL.
For who?
Penrith RSL back in the days.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was playing in Penrith last year. Is that St. Clair?
Well, hey, Ben, how you going? Can you say a few words on there?
Yep, testing 1, 2, 3. 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 Testing 1. I went back out a couple weeks ago and I wasn't struggling to stand for the whole of this.
Hello to you all from a cool early evening here in Miranda at a packed Seymour Shore Stadium, ready for the Sutherland Sharks, who after a tough start to the 2026 season have lived up to the hype, sitting pretty inside the top six. A win today could see them one game away from securing finals football and a step closer to a spot in the 2026 Australian Championship season. Their latest foe, Sydney FC, looking to break a 5-game winless streak and maintain their final spot. Also, some mouth-watering fixture that awaits us, an important one in the context of the 2026 NPL New South Wales season. My name's Cody Ojeda. Welcome to the Football New South Wales YouTube channel for Sutherland Sharks versus Sydney FC. Now look at our lineups for this evening. Starting with the host, David Perkovic has one change to his side from last week that beat Wollongong Wolves 2-1 here at Seymour Shore Stadium. Brendan Gann returns from suspension. He comes in for Tarek Maya, who had his wedding yesterday. Big congratulations to Tarek Maya, his new wife, and both their families. 5-2-2-1 we're expecting from Sutherland Sharks. Daniel Nizic in goals. The centre-back trio of Matthew Yerman, Jamie Fashevsky, and Tees Van Amerongen. The two wing-backs, Jordan Perez on the left, Yanni Nicolau on the right. A centre mid-duo of Nicholas Olsen, who recently scored a hat-trick as well against Rockdale. Away from home, that one was. Alongside him, Riley Hollingdale, former Western Sydney Wanderers youth player. Brendan Gann and Danny Choi, the two attacking midfielders in that formation. Diego Bonilla will be the sole striker. For Sydney FC, meanwhile, one change for them as well. Adesanya drops from the squad altogether and he's replaced by Nicholas Alfaro. 4-3-3 we're expecting from Sydney FC. Jared Williams comes in goals for Alexander Zavradinos. Sorry, those two changes to the Sydney FC lineup as well. At left back, Corey Cronin. Centre backs, Miles Milliner and Tyler Williams. Right back, William Pizzuti. Defensive mid, Dion Negro. Centre mid duo of Nicholas Alfaro and Tay Headley. On the left, Marin France. On the right, captain Mitchell Glasson. And up front, Zach Fowler. Referee for the evening is Thomas Dell, James Macris, and Patrick Pike as our fourth official. We're underway here at Seymour Shore Stadium for Sutherland Sharks versus Sydney FC. Sydney FC get us underway there in an all-white strip running from left to right on your screens towards the Smithies end of Seymour Shore, you could say now, I guess. Sutherland Sharks, meanwhile, in their classic all-sky blue. It'll be interesting for Sydney FC to go up against an all-sky blue side today, I guess. And they'll be running from right to left on your screens. Sydney FC with an early spell of possession, fall at the feet of Tyler Williams. Across to Milliner. Corey Cronin looking to get high quite early. Sutherland doing well to try and force Sydney FC back. They do give away a foul though. First of the evening, albeit only 50 seconds or so into the match. Sydney get us restarted quickly. Alfaro. Negro. Long ball forward. Looking for Cronin, who's made an inverted run. Couldn't quite get on the end of it though. Corey Cronin almost found himself in position ideal for a number 9. Did well to do that considering he's our left back today for Sydney FC. Tyler Williams trying to step his way out of defence. Sutherland ensuring that ball down the right hand flank can't go any further. Give away foul in the process. Pizzuti. Sutherland work their way out of danger. Jordan Perez, long ball forward for the search of Gann. Gann's going to beat Milliner to it. He's forced into the corner though. Gann gets his way around Milliner. Ball stays in. No, it doesn't. Thomas Dale bringing it back for a goal kick. Goal kick taken quickly. Long ball comes from Milliner. Looks like that will only find Nicolau though. Sydney FC win it back quickly. Ball forward. This one in search of Glasson. Sydney FC's front line looking to stay compressed as they go forward. Sutherland's turn now for a spill of possession. Yerman to Pasevsky. Choi to Hollingdale. Choi trying to get Perez in behind. Perez finds a cutback. Can only find a white shirt. Sydney FC play out through Alfaro. Glasson. Nice little flick pass from Glasson, but he can't find a teammate. Olsen quick to try and get the shot away. Claimed well by Jared Williams. Glasson happy to come inside as almost a second striker for Sydney FC. Glasson sneaking offside there. Sutherland have us restarted quickly. Burst through. There's a chance now here for Sydney FC. Glasson couldn't time his run again. Based on what we've seen so far, man in front seems to taking position further on the right-hand side for Sydney FC. Glasson a little bit more central. Glasson's worked his way to the right now. Garn win the ball in midfield for Sutherland. A cheap foul to give away there on Zach Fowler. Sydney FC now have a chance to get us restarted inside their attacking half as well. It does look like Zach Fowler is occupying more space on the left-hand side of Sydney FC's attack. That ball from Alfaro is directed towards him. Nicolau is first to it for Sutherland. Has Van Amerongen in support. Go long search of Olsen. Sydney FC can win it back in midfield. Negro. Alfaro now. Sutherland resolute in their defensive structure, forcing Sydney FC backwards. Alfaro try and break it with a long ball. Finds the feet of Cronin. Glasson now is back to goal. Lays it off for Headley. Just wide. From the Sydney centre midfielder. It'll be a goal kick. It's technically listed as a 5 at the back for Sutherland Sharks, but best believe the two wingbacks, Jordan Perez and Yanni Nicolau, will push high almost as extra wingers. Perez coming deep on this occasion, looking for the ball to his feet from Matt Yerman. Yerman gets the pass forward now. Williams beats Garn in the air. Nice little flick from France. It's turned over in midfield though, and France will give the free kick away for Sutherland Sharks. Olsen quick to get over the top of it. To Van Amerongen. Choi. It's dropped deep to Receive that ball. Pashevsky. Nice touch to get himself forward. Such a play to Perez. Perez gets the 1-2 with Hollingdale. Garn, another 1-2 for Perez to get himself in behind. So perfectly timed challenge there from Tyler Williams. And the lack of complaints coming from Sutherland Sharks players. It's there in the greens. Lovely play there between Jordan Perez, Riley Hollingdale and Brendan Gunn to work their way in behind in the first instance, but Sydney FC proving they're up to the task. Perez will shape up for the long throw. Only finds White first. Olsen trying to get on the second ball. Trying to get a controlled pass to Perez on the left flank. That one will find Perez. Perez gets it back off his teammate Van Amerongen. Such a play to Troy. Negro steps up to the task. Late challenge there from Troy. Negro is able to skip past. Has Glasson ahead. Chooses Fowler. Sutherland Sharks able to rescue their defensive structure. Sydney FC still in possession. Crosser coming in now, looking for Fowler. Headed away by Yeoman. Hollingdale trying to get himself forward to put pressure on that Sydney FC back line. The away side can come away with it. Alfaro. Headley. Back to Williams. Headley trying to turn in midfield there. Loses it initially, but Glasson wins it back to Sydney FC. Headley can't get onto the through ball from Glasson there. It'll be another Sutherland Sharks goal kick. Not quite the start the host would have wanted. Only 10 minutes into this one, but despite a glimpse or two from the Sharks, Sydney FC have had the ascendancy in this one so far. I'm wrong and clears under pressure. Sydney FC's turn to be under pressure here. Troy collecting the loose ball, trying to skip past two white shirts. Secures the throw for his side at the very least. Jordan Perez is coming over from the left-hand side to take this one on the opposite flank. Perez finds Van Amerongen, flicks on. Sydney FC do well to handle that pressure. Have the chance on the counter-attack now. Cut out well there by retreating Jordan Perez. Troy picking up the ball in central midfield. Makes it back to Olsen. Again, back to Olsen. Finds Hollingdale with the flick pass. Troy to Perez, who's made an underlapping run. They'll go back into position now. Sutherland will work their way down the right-hand side. Bonilla. Still Bonilla. Has Nicolau in support. Bonilla will get the cross off. Gunn. Just can't quite direct that header goalwards. Rose highest. Sharks attacking midfielder. Wasn't able to trouble Jared Williams' goal though. Better signs from the hosts. Glasson. Cleared away by Petsevsky, who loses track of the ball for a second. France is able to pick it up and dart at the Sutherland back line. His forward pass to Fowler. Quickly flagged for offside. Olsen. Long ball forward for Gann. 1-on-1 with Williams. Trying to get the square ball across the Bonilla, but Jared Williams is able to collect. Negro with time and space on the ball. Chooses Pizzuti. Goes back to Williams. Alfaro now. France. Marin France. Able to work his way into space. Wanted the through ball for William Pizzuti, but that one slightly overhit. Gann. Lovely turn from Gann. Negro trying to get a tug of the shirt to slow Gann down. And it's Williams who stops him. Waved on, says the referee. Now it's Matt Yeoman's turn to put in a hard challenge, and once again, referee's happy to let that play on. Gann asking the question of Thomas Dale as well. Sydney FC get us restarted. Milliner. Pedley. Back to Milliner. Forward run coming from France. A little bit further up from where the ball's been played. France has it at its feet now. Alfaro. It's the feet of Headley, trying to play a chip through ball in for Glasson. Sutherland able to cope with that pressure. Sydney FC win it back. Negro. Backwards to Milliner. To Alfaro. Cronin forward once again for Sydney FC from his left back spot. Diagonal ball now comes in search of Fowler. An awkward one for Perez to deal with. But his header does find grateful hands of Daniel Nizic. Van Amerongen. Long ball looking for Bonilla. Hard challenge from Milliner, but a fair one. Sutherland can get the loose ball. Perez. Not many options ahead of him. It's backwards to Yeoman. Feet of Holling down now. It skips through Sydney FC's midfield. Through ball. Finds the feet of Perez. Options building up in the middle for Sutherland Sharks, but it's cut out well by Sydney FC. Still under pressure now, though. Now the clearance comes. Finds the feet of Glasson. Pasevsky. Calm under pressure from the Sydney FC striker. Yeoman. Has Gann ahead of him. Uses Gann. Falls backwards to Perez. Perez will go back to Yeoman. Pasevsky. Sutherland looking for space down their right-hand side. Inside to Olsen. Troy wanted the return ball. Didn't quite come off the way Olsen would have liked. Still has possession though. Now it's at the feet of Troy. Diagonal ball looking for Gann. Tries a first time shot. Just couldn't get connection on the outstretched foot. Danger passes for Sydney FC. Who now seem to be the ones under pressure after having most of the ball in the opening moments of the match. No side able to create a clear-cut chance just yet. Of course, the last time these two sides played each other, it was a nil or draw as well. In fact, 3 of the last 5 games between these two teams have resulted in a scoreless draw. The other two coming in the 2024 season. The 2 meetings in 2025 saw both sides take a win apiece. Sutherland's 4-0 win over Sydney FC in the latter stages of the last season. A big reason why they were able to avoid relegation then. Square ball coming in from Perez. It's filled by Williams. Cleared by Milliner. Holding down in space now for Sutherland Sharks. Shot comes from the edge of the box. Choi can't get it on target on this occasion. Well, if this one does finish in a scoreless draw, it won't be for the want of trying so far. As much as there hasn't been any real clear-cut chances, there has been attacking intent from both sides. Tussle in midfield. Alfaro is able to come away best. Forward ball for Glasson. That's Fowler in the box. Shot will come from distance. Sydney FC. It's deflected away by Van Amarong, and Fowler will try and deflect it goalwards. Sutherland Sharks stand tall in the immediate aftermath. Sydney FC still with possession. Pizzuti. Headley. Back to Pizzuti. Sydney FC forced backwards into their own half. Alfaro. Back to Headley. Referee was quick to point in the direction of a free kick on that occasion. Chance Sydney FC to try and create something from the set piece. Taken quickly. Tyler Williams. Negroes move to the right of Sydney FC's midfield as Southern Sharks turn it over in midfield. Olsen now darting at the Sydney FC backline to Nicolau. Golden opportunity for Sutherland Sharks to open the scoring here this evening. Yanni Nicolau just couldn't keep his shot down, unfortunately. A cheap giveaway by Sydney FC. The last person you want being able to dart at your backline is Nicholas Olsen. The feet of Jared Williams allows Sutherland to really try and press on Sydney FC backline. Of course, the one thing you guarantee with these A-League Academy sides is that they are quite young, which means, especially in certain situations, they might be that little bit inexperienced. There is that opportunity for well-organised sides to try and take advantage of that. Of course, this is a Sydney FC side that has been a bit of time between drinks. Last 3 points coming over 5 weeks ago, a midweek match against SD Raiders. Fowler stuck in the corner under pressure from Jordan Perez. Gets himself around Jordan Perez. Zach Fowler, lovely bit of work there. Yanni Nicolau able to clear away the cross though. Doesn't have a lot of support, Nicolau, and Sydney FC can win the ball high. Chance for Marin France to create something here. Won well by Nicolau. He'll clear forward in search of Bonilla. And it's an awkward pass back for Jared Williams, but he's able to come across and get first to it. Under pressure, the best he can do is a clearance. Speaking of Sydney FC's recent record, if there's one thing that you can count on with this side, it is being resolute in defence. As much as there was 4 goals conceded last week, they have had 2 clean sheets in the last 3 weeks. Albeit it was Avadinos in goals for those. Big shoes for Jared Williams to fill tonight. He himself, Jared Williams, had 2 clean sheets in his 4 appearances so far this season. It's 5th start tonight for Sydney FC. Sutherland come again. Van Amarong, and will go from distance. That'll be an easy one to collect for Jared Williams. Pezzuti. It's Headley ahead. Utilises Headley. It's a 1-2 with Alfaro. No foul, says the referee on Hollingdale. Perez now with space to try and create something here for Sutherland Sharks. The cut back in search of Troy. Wasn't the cleanest connection and means a simple save for Jared Williams again. Definitely been busy, the Sydney FC goalkeeper, in the last 10 minutes or so. This goal hasn't been breached yet. Zach Fowler couldn't time his run on that occasion. Wasn't in agreement with the linesman's call. Natural, I guess, for a striker, you could say. Well, back to Nizic. Fowler will press. Nizic this time is forced to clear for a throw. Fowler had plenty of time to work that press on Nizic. Surprised none of his centre-backs in front of him were able to pick it up and create that short option. Sydney FC come forward. Pezzuti to Alfaro. Alfaro go from distance. Deflected initially by Yeoman. Not out of danger yet for Sutherland Sharks. Now it is. It will still be a Sydney FC possession. Hollingdale rising over the top of Alfaro. Troy. Can't keep it away from Negro. Van Amerongen heads forward. The loose ball goes only to the feet of Glasson. Glasson will cut inside. The resulting shot sails over the crossbar. Glasson did score last time out in that 4-2 loss to Blacktown City. Sydney FC had last week. Able to get himself on the score sheet for first time in 6 weeks. Here he comes again, Mitchell Glasson. Goes back to Cronin. Tyler Williams. Negro. Cross in search of Fowler. Yeoman first to it. Now Troy looked like he had the chance to go forward for Sutherland Sharks, but chooses to go backwards. Sharks ensuring they maintain possession. Again. Look for Bonilla. Still Bonilla. It's an awkward one for Sydney FC to deal with. but they do so. Bezzuti. Tyler Williams. Looking at Headley ahead of him. Keep going forward himself. Has Negro now in support. Negro will find Headley. Alfaro now. Space, Sydney FC. Ball forward to Mitchell Glasson. He's onside this time. Mitchell Glasson. Ball one legally, says the referee there. Sydney FC still in possession. Bezzuti. Glasson. Turn provider this time. Looked like an awkward one initially, but Fowler couldn't find his way through 2 or 3 sky blue shirts. And it will be a goal kick for Sutherland Sharks. Sure, it looks good on your screens at home, but the vibe and the atmosphere we can get here at Seymour Shore, packed boutique stadium, Smithy's Bar, on the far right corner of your screens at home, really is a strong atmosphere around Sutherland Sharks right now. The loose ball that the host may be able to get the advantage on, cleared away by Jared Williams. Sydney FC now comfortable on possession. Negro doing well to work his way out of pressure. Forward pass. Looked like he was going to find the feet of France, but Glasson's the one gets himself onto it. And that time, it's Cronin. Offside for Sydney FC. My apologies, it's Negro. Worked his way offside. Doing well to make a darting run like that from central midfield. As much as there is a good vibe, a packed house here at Seymour Shore, the atmosphere is maybe a little bit subdued. It's a slow start from the host. 30 minutes in, still yet to see a goal. Sure, the Sutherland faithful would have hoped that it does come from their side, should it come. Perez finds the feet of Yeoman. Now it's an awkward one for Sydney FC again. Jared Williams, with safe hands, able to come and collect. Troy now, Sutherland. Back to Olsen. Van Amerongen. Back to Olsen. Does well to find Matt Yeoman there. Perez inside to Olsen. Olsen will continue turning central. Pasetsky now able to gain meters for his side. Looking for the flick on the Bonilla. Bezzuti can clear. Nice touch from Troy there to bring that one down. Falling down now for the Sharks. Back to Yeoman. Perez. Gann. Back to Perez. Perez cuts inside. Square ball for Nicolau, who's also made an inverted run. Allowing Troy space. Right on the flank. Troy does go backwards. Back in the Sharks midfield now through Olsen. To Nicolau. Troy. Under pressure from Milliner. Enough pressure to win inside a free kick. Looks like Sutherland will set up for this free kick routine. Plenty of targets available to them. Van Amerongen Towering figure as he comes forward. Nate Yeoman as well. Notable for his prowess in the air. And there's Nicholas Olsen hanging back for potential clearance. Ball in search of Van Amrongen. It looks like it was almost directed goalwards. Jared Williams did well to be able to tip that one over. Acrobatic save from the Sydney FC goalkeeper. That's definitely one for the photographers. Maybe even one for the filmmakers of the Sutherland Sharks documentary. Sure, they caught that in all its 4K perfection. Hollingdale to deliver the in-swinger. Floats to the back post. Headed back the other way. Well, that header actually hit the top of the net, and it won't matter regardless, as Sydney FC will get a free kick. Van Amrongen extremely displeased with that call. Free will pull him up for his protest. Looks like his argument is that there's a tug on the shirt, and my apologies, Pasevsky. That was pulled up there. Forward ball for Sydney FC. Won by Pasevsky, beats Fowler to it. And Nizic can collect. Drops at the feet of Pasevsky. As Hollingdale coming short to receive. Go to his centre-back partner, Van Amrongen. To Nizic now. Long ball. Looking for Perez. Didn't quite get the distance on it that it needed. Yeoman. Looking for Perez. Bonilla trying to find Perez with the pass back. Possession changing hands a few times, but Sydney FC look like they can regain control. Milliner. Glasson. Hits Van Amrongen there. Olsen. Able to skip past Headley, but can't get himself past Fowler. Once again, another loose ball skipping behind Sydney FC backline. Centre backs are able to come to the rescue. France. Alfaro. It's Negro. Back to France. Still France. Riding every challenge from the Sharks. Ball finds its way into the box. Van Amrongen able to head clear initially. Headley brought down on the edge of the box, but nothing untoward, says Thomas Dale. Nice Travella pass there from Jordan Perez. Able to release Danny Troy. Troy, diagonal ball. Looking for Garn. Hits it on the volley. Not sure if that would have ended up on target, but Bezuti will mean we're never to know. Hollingdale. Perez. Short ball again. Back to Perez. Hollingdale. To Yeoman. Sevsky. Hollingdale. Cross will come in. Gans first to it. Once again, it doesn't trouble the goal of Jared Williams. Only have 8 or so minutes left of first half here at Seymour Shaw. Still as we started so far. It's a bright start from Sydney FC, but as this game's worn on, Sutherland Sharks have worked their way into it. At this stage, they seem more likely to be the ones to break the deadlock. Maybe an opportunity to here. After that tumble, Riley Hollingdale's judged to have been the perpetrator in that situation. Gives away the foul for Sydney FC, which they take quickly. The long ball ultimately ends up at the feet of Daniel Nizic. Sharks will come forward again. France doing his defensive duties. Sydney FC get themselves a free kick. Williams happy to wait for pressure from Sutherland Sharks. Now it's definitely coming. Bonilla leading the Sutherland Sharks press. Jared Williams will be the one to clear. Yeoman only find a white shirt. Negro to Afaro. Forward ball for Pizzuti. It's able to be ushered away by Jordan Perez. Bit of afters there. The two number 5s coming together. William Pizzuti, Jordan Perez. They may not be unfamiliar with each other. Both recently spending time at Northwest Sydney Spirit. Sydney FC able to win the ball high. Fowler looking for a teammate. Finds it in Headley. Can't get the return pass, but keeps possession for his side. Alfaro. Back to Pizzuti. Tyler Williams will go backwards to Jared Williams. Chance for Sutherland Sharks to push up outside their defensive third. Tyler Williams. Dion Negro. Alfaro being chased by Gann. Able to find a pass to Milner. So you can see it work their way back down the right-hand side. Pizzuti. Still Pizzuti. Has Headley in support. Cross comes from Headley. Pizzuti. A golden opportunity to get the shot away, but Sutherland Sharks do well to clear the danger. France, who's covered so much ground today. I can't think of a position or a space in this field he hasn't occupied yet. Between the right flank, the left flank, central in that attacking role, dropped into centre mid, almost playing as a left back at a certain stage of this match. Hard one for his marker to keep track of. France back on the ball again. Faro. Glasson. Glasson can't find a teammate with a return pass. And Olsen. Looking for a way forward. Still Olsen. Now he has space to work in. Olsen. Darting at the Sydney FC back line. Will he go himself? Utilises Choi in support. Cross comes from Danny Choi. Still no danger. Sydney FC, and they're able to bring that chance to a close. And France, now the one to show what he can do with space. Simple pass for Glasson. It was brought down, but no foul, but gets inside a free kick. A throw in, sorry. Alfaro. Once again looking for the over-the-top ball. Search of Glasson, but couldn't time his run on this occasion. Melina. First to the ball for Sydney FC. Heads it clear for a Sutherland throw. Looking for Olsen on the end of that. Couldn't get the pass away to a teammate, and it will trickle over for Sydney FC goal kick. Not sure if it's come through the effects mic on occasion, but there's some members of the Cove in full voice here tonight at Seymour Shaw. Showing support for their academy side as they do chase finals football. Headley. France brought down by Pasevsky, and the free kick in a dangerous spot for Sydney FC. Golden opportunity to try and take the lead right before the halftime break. Plenty of players standing over this one for Sydney FC. A couple do move themselves away. Alfaro almost looking like he was going to come join the party. There's two left now. It looks like it's Corey Cronin and Ty Headley over this one. Alfaro shaping up for a run. Headley will be the one to take it. No trouble for Daniel Nizic on this occasion. Fourth official, Patrick Pike, getting ready to show how much injury time we will have for the first half here. Just the 1 minute. Daniel Zizic gets us underway again with the goal kick. Olsen. Under pressure, but finds Van Amerongen. Nicolau. Back to Van Amerongen. Forward ball, finds the feet of Bonilla. Can Sutherland Sharks break the deadlock right before half-time? Hollingdale to Perez. Yerman. Ball forward from Yerman. Well, good one for Sydney FC to deal with. It's not out of danger yet. Now it is. Fowler. Forward pass for Glasson. Has France on the opposite flank in space. Still Glasson. Olsen doing well to stop that attack, and that will be all for the first half here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. It is how we started. Sutherland Sharks 0, Sydney FC 0. Sutherland Sharks probably getting the ascendancy as the half wore on, but nothing to show for it in the end. We will be back for the second half in roughly 15 minutes. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Every week, hundreds of thousands of people turn up around football grounds around New South Wales. Parents, kids, refs, coaches and volunteers. Cardiac incidents can happen to anyone at any time on the pitch.
Right now, not every club has a defibrillator.
And the ones that do are not always maintained or ready to use. In a critical moment, with a defib, that could save lives. That's why Football New South Wales, St John Ambulance and Toyota have come together for Every Beat Matters to help clubs around New South Wales to access defibrillators, cover maintenance and build a register so we know exactly where every unit is around the state. All you need to do is buy a ticket through Raffletix. $5 can make a difference. Every ticket goes towards funding defibrillators and maintenance for clubs that need it most. A live fundraising board shows exactly how much is being raised. And every ticket you buy puts you in the draw to win a Toyota Corolla. One ticket, real impact. Help your club be ready when it matters. So buy your ticket today.
Good touch by Cameron to bring that down, and now thinks about the early cross. It might fall for Awan Lawal. And you simply cannot give him those sort of opportunities. Here is Thomas Quilligan. Connor Quilligan with a strike! And how great a strike it is! Franson looking for Lawal, does find him. And now Rocco McNamara is there, flashing it across goal. And Hasarati taps it in. A well-worked goal by the Wanderers as they make...
Side to strike. Diego Bonilla squares it back. Choi with a bending shot. And the goal arrives for the Sutherland Sharks. Bonilla on the right side. Diego Bonilla cuts onto his left. Veers out to open some room. And the ball falls in the box. Here's McGowan! Ty McGowan makes it 2. Into the last 10 minutes of play. Scott turns, holds off an opponent, and he's legged as the ball finds Kanazumi. Excellent finish.
With the left foot. It's Casella with the shot. And Casella with the goal! They lead at home for the first time. Well, and a second time McStay, but now Fernandez. Head tennis in there. Marcic flicks it. Is there a chance? Is there a goal? No flag. There is the equaliser. The free kick was floated in. It ricocheted around inside the box and eventually fell. Takes a touch and he slips. There's been a chip from Evan Souris. Chance for us to Raiders. A great save. Not cleared away. It's come back inside. Marcic with the goal. Marcic with the goal. Goalkeeper. He's picked it up and bowled it out. And now Skataric. Skataric aiming for the shot. Oh, it is a goal. It went through the net. It's 2-2. Everett calling for it back inside. Q Shore chooses to float it in. Marcic is there. Still haven't cleared it. Dinked up to the back post. And it's headed and it's in. They've got themselves a third goal. It's Jakob Malbasa.
Back in from Coco. And it's in the back of the net. Farah Coco with a spectacular effort. Haven't had much chances so far in the second half. Tiller, good ball in. Forced to Nakano. That is one of the best goals you will see this season.
Major continues his run and Tanaka has a go. Konai Tanaka with a real collector's item. He's going to find Fowler here. Tilt is going to ground but hasn't taken it away from Fowler. And it's Fowler bearing down on Rogers. And Sydney immediately responds right before the break against Cooper Rogers. Glasson, confident penalty. Down the middle he went. And Sydney FC take the lead for the first time this afternoon, and it's an important lead at that. An important moment this in the context of the season, in the context of the finals race. Major from the spot, tucks it away with ease, sends Zavadinos the wrong way and lets him know about it on his way past. Yej making it difficult, and Blacktown have won a quick throw. Major up to Qual, and Qual is searching for Malia, and Malia! Blacktown go bang bang, and it's on the feet of their two veterans, Travis Major and now Mitch Malia. Turn and continuous reliance on his more experienced players, and Yej is going to have a go! Oh! Incredible from Maxim Yej from past halfway.
Channel ball. Oh no, oof. He's turned it over very cheaply indeed. That's not who you want to give the ball away to. It's Moody Najjar who will strike and finish into that bottom corner with aplomb. It's ahead at the interval. Swept in, near post delivery. K-Flaps! They have restored parity!
Bernie. The pressure pays for St George. Solomon John Monahan Viker. Bad leg. Oh, what a finish that is! The Frenchman is catching fire in NPL New South Wales, and St George.
Not a regular goal scorer by any stretch of the imagination. Casper's keeping the attack alive. Conestavo! Stunner! Sequences like that are going to help out Apia, and Ortiz is bearing down on goal. He's found Conestavo for two. A brace of brilliance for Apia's number 8. Able to play the ball forward. Monarchis forcing the pass, but Kukuchka's stolen in behind Sean Simmons and has a goal back. There's the one they were looking for. It's come from there. There they are. Dilly applying the press. Oh, Conestavo! What?
seconds. So. Oh, yeah. That might be on a 30-second delay as well. Welcome back to Seymour Shore Stadium for the second half of this NPL New South Wales round 27 fixture between Sutherland Sharks and Sydney FC. If you're just joining us, it is still, as we started, Sutherland Sharks 0, Sydney FC 0. And having a look around the grounds as well, Sydney Olympic beat NSW away from home earlier this afternoon. A 3-1 win for Sydney Olympic as they try and stave off relegation. Meanwhile, Manly United and Marconi Stallions, which is inside the second half. Manly's winning 2-1 at home. SD Raiders in the 6th and 7th minute are beating Western Sydney Wanderers youth team 1-0. And half-time at Christie Park sees Northwest Sydney Spirit beating Blacktown City 2-0. St George Saints and RPR have just gotten underway, and a match that both sides here this evening will be particularly interested in. Our match of the round for this week, St George City up against Rockdale Illendon. Rockdale currently occupying 5th spot in between these two teams, Sutherland Sharks in 4th and Sydney FC in 6th. As Danny Troy tries an interesting way to get us underway here in the second half. Well claimed there by Jared Williams. Both sides, no matter the result of this one, will be particularly intrigued with how that match involving Rockdale plays out. A win today for Sydney FC and a loss for Rockdale means Sydney FC could jump ahead into 5th spot. Zach Fowler unable to beat Danny Nizic to that loose ball. It's a poor ball back from Danny Troy, and Zach Fowler now a chance to get in behind, brought down by Yanni Nicolau. I wonder if there'll be any more than just a foul. Definitely was a professional foul. Not sure if it'll be anything more. It looks like referee will keep his cards in the pockets on this occasion. As I was saying, win for Sydney FC and a loss for Rockdale could mean Sydney FC climb to 5th. Meanwhile, if Sutherland win and Rockdale lose, Sutherland are 1 game away from the Australian Championship. As things stand, they do have a 5-point buffer, but we'll definitely need a win here to try and maintain that. Rockdale going into that game against St George City as favourites. Free kick comes in from Headley. Cleared away. Big Glaston at the edge of the box. Couldn't get the direction he would have liked on the volley. Van Amerongen able to burst into his attacking half. Has Nicolau ahead of him. Sydney FC do well to slow that attack down. Sutherland a restart. Nicholas Olsen. Again. That's Nicolau running on the inside. Jared Williams can watch that run over his touchline though. Jared Williams under pressure. Pisevsky doing well to win the loose ball. Sutherland can't maintain possession though, and It's a nice ball over the top for Fowler. It'll drop nicely for Fowler. 1-on-1 with Nisic. Nisic gets a hand to it, but ball's in the back of the net. Zach Fowler opens the scoring here. Seymour Shaw. Sydney FC pull ahead. It could be a big goal in the context of the finals race. And that's one that silences the home crowd. Zach Fowler doing really well. Let's get in between the three Sutherland Sharks centre backs. A lovely ball over the top. Timing the run was to perfection. Sydney FC lead us here 1-0 to the good. Zach Fowler, it's 2 goals in 2 games now. He was the other goal scorer in that 4-2 loss to Blacktown City last week. Matt Yeoman's just taken a tumble off the ball and clutching at his ankle. The goal to go behind wasn't bad enough for Perkovic. The last thing he needs is his major mid-season signing going down with an injury. Alfaro, Sydney FC. France doing a lot of turn away from his marker and does enough to win the foul off Nick Olsen. We did see from Sydney FC in the first half as well. They were able to start quite strongly. They worked their way through the first half. Sydney FC started being forced onto the back foot. Sutherland Sharks looked more likely to break the deadlock. Coming into the second half now though. Sutherland Sharks probably have had more of the possession, but Sydney FC doing well to put themselves in front. Olsen. Sutherland Sharks want to work their way back into this one. Olsen will more than likely beat the centre of it. Gann to Nicolau. Van Amarongen. Pisevsky. Perez trying to find his way around Pizzuti. CNFC coming away with it and a chance to try and break on the counter-attack. Long ball forward. Finds the feet of Glasson. Glasson's a square ball looking for Fowler. Van Amarongen is best to it. Will be a Sydney FC corner. Zach Fowler doing well to get himself into nice spaces, nice positions. That one there is 5th goal of the season. And all of them coming after round 20. First goal of the season against Wollongong Wolves in that round. Scored 3 in 3 weeks, following it up with goals against Sydney United and Blacktown and NSW, sorry. And after that corner, Glasson the judge should have been too handsy with his marker. And back on Zach Fowler. That period where he did get 3 goals in 3 games. Maybe a little bit quiet by his standards following. Sorry, that's 3 goals in 4 games. There was a catch-up match that was played with SD Raiders in between. Their matches against Sydney United and UNSW. And broke a 3-game scoreless streak. That goal against Blacktown City. Now it's 2 from 2 again. Olsen coming forward for Sutherland. One back by Sydney FC. France. Goal scorer Fowler. That's a hard challenge there from Gann. He'll be the first one into the book this evening. He's incensed with that decision. It was a high foot. It didn't look like he got to the ball first, but I don't think anyone can deny he did make contact with Zach Fowler there. And again, has already served suspension for accumulation of yellow cards this season. His last match against Rockdale is the first time he was back in the book following that. Unfortunately, on that day he did get 2 yellows, which meant he was forced to miss their match last week against Wollongong. Sydney FC have us back underway. Headley. Nice little flick pass backwards to Glasson. France defeated France. To Alfaro. Back to France. That's a lovely duo for Sydney FC to have available. Marin France then Nicholas Alfaro can't quite do the goods on this occasion. Back in possession though, and it looks like a head knock there from Pizzuti. Looks as though it's Diego Bonilla, the victim of that one. Just for confirmation as well, there were no changes at the halftime break, and as we approach the 10-minute mark of this half, closing in on the hour mark, intrigued to see what decision either bench makes, particularly Sutherland Sharks. Looking at their bench, Richard Choueki is the one that stands out as potential to be able to bring a spark to the Sutherland Sharks forward line. I have Lachlan McDonald, Gian Fiorese, Ty McGowan, Lucas Weber and Bryce Harrison also on the bench available for them, as well as backup goalkeeper Samuel Smith. Sydney FC meanwhile, Marshall White, Nicholas Calder, Sikora, Conde and Travato to call on. Cronin. To Negro. Shaping for the diagonal ball for Glasson. Chooses to go short. Troy trying to toss the ball away from Alfaro. Alfaro gets a pass off, but because that was wayward, it will be a free kick for Sutherland Sharks, and Alfaro also finds himself in the book. Should say as. That pass is wayward, not because, sorry. Either way, it is a free kick for this evening, Sky Blues. Jordan Perez, Riley Hollingdale over it. Both of them no strangers to being lethal from situations like this. It is a little bit far out, probably roughly 30 metres from goal. Will be Perez to step up. And it's in the back of the net. Jordan Perez, what a strike that was. Jordan Perez, take a bow. An absolutely fantastic free kick. Jared Williams, maybe a little bit unfortunate that he may not have been able to see it the whole way through. It did take a bounce before reaching his net. And that has livened things up here at Seymour Shaw. all square once again in this match, just as we hit the hour mark. Sutherland Sharks 1, Sydney FC 1. Have to say it was coming for the hosts. Sydney FC with work to do once again to restore their lead. That was brilliant from Jordan Perez. It did take a bounce just as it breached the wall. Jordan Perez, as I said just before he took that, he can be lethal from situations like that. It takes a man of confidence to try his luck from that distance as well. Jordan Perez has it in abundance. Mix up now, and Zach Fowler will try and loop Daniel Nizic. Crossbar, the only thing standing in the way from Fowler doubling his tally for the evening. Sutherland Sharks will be grateful they can see that one away. The thing momentum would be with Sutherland Sharks, but that would have killed any momentum that they could gain from that equaliser there. Jordan Perez, it hasn't been an easy season for the Sutherland Sharks left back. No stranger to the score sheet though, that's his third of the season. Funnily enough, that goal there is similar to one that he scored against Sutherland Sharks last year. Knows how to hit a ball, Jordan Perez. Former Australian Youth International. Spent a lot of his formative years overseas between Spain and Cyprus. Came home last year. And now he's back in his backyard, a Bangor Brumbies junior. No foul on Bonilla there, says the referee. And Sydney FC have an opportunity on the counter-attack. Zach Fowler, once again, coming forward, tripped by the looks of things from Pasevsky. Pasevsky definitely disagrees. Wasn't sure if he had the timing of the run there as well. Looks almost like he was offside, but linesman on the far side, Amber Morris. Flag stays down. Again. Nicolau. That time, flag comes up. This time it's for a free kick for an off-the-ball foul in the middle of the box. Not played out well by Sydney FC, and Sutherland Sharks are able to pick it up in a dangerous position. That was a brilliant challenge to stave away danger only momentarily. Comes forward again for Sharks. Troy with a flick on. And this time Cronin is the one that can clear for Sydney FC. Pasevsky. I'm sure Sydney FC can't venture too far forward though. Awkward cross from Danny Troy for Bonilla to get on the end of. Again there too to press. Now Sydney FC can clear. It's headed away before Fowler can get on the end of it. And Perez keeps it in play. Sharks have the opportunity to go forward again. No, they don't. Sydney FC win the ball in the middle third. Headley. To Alfaro. Negro. Cronin. Back to Headley. Alfaro. Almost lost under pressure there from Choi, but gets it past to Cronin. Headley. Trying to work his way through 3 sky blue shirts. Almost gets a forward pass to Cronin. Lovely ball to get it back to the feet of Headley. It's brought down. And it looks like will be a free kick and a yellow card for Cronin for simulation. We'll get our first sub of the evening. Danny Choi coming off for Sutherland Sharks. And Ty McGowan will be the one to replace him on the right-hand side. Looks like Marin France. It's the one that's gone into the book for Sydney FC. The away side come forward again. It's a dangerous one. That's brilliant defending from Van Amerongen. Tyler Williams picks it back up for the visitors. Ball over the top looking for Glasson, but Nizic is strong off his line there. McGowan getting his first touches on the ball for the evening. And with that, we'll win inside a corner. Olsen will be the one to take. Every player for Sydney FC inside their 18-yard box. It's clear who the target will be for Sharks eventually. Nicolau looks to whip it in for the set-piece routine. Ball finds its way into the box eventually, but not done in a dangerous manner, and Sydney FC were able to clear. Hollingdale picking up the loose ball. Lovely interception from the Sharks midfielder. McGowan works his way out of trouble. We'll get the shot away. Jared Williams, brilliant save to tip it away for a corner. If you're just joining us, it is Sutherland Sharks 1, Sydney FC 1. Zach Fowler opening the scoring. The opening moments of the second half. And just before we did hit the hour mark, Jordan Perez brought things level again with a fantastic free kick from roughly 30 metres out. No short option for Olsen this time. He will deliver to the back post. Van Amerongen arguing that he was brought down there. Couldn't quite reach the ball with his head. Definitely was a physical encounter, but in the eyes of Tom Stowell, nothing to warrant any further action. Would be a big call to point to the spot in that situation. Hollingdale. Square ball to Olsen. As Nicolau running in support. Back to Olsen. Looking for the reverse pass to McGowan, but overhit on this occasion. One sub from host so far. Yet to see Van Weeren go to his bench for Sydney FC. Del Negro coming short for that goal kick. Defeated France. Tussed it away well for the Sharks. Olsen. Backwards to Pasevsky. Nicolau. McGowan ahead. Go diagonal for Sharks goal scorer Perez, but Pezzuti able to win the aerial duel there. Turned over well by Sharks. Chance now for Hollingdale to find himself in space. Not cleared yet. Now Headley has space to get Sydney FC out of danger and potentially launch a counter-attack. A little bit too slow for counter-attack for Sydney FC, but still able to go forward. Cronin. To Milliner. Looking for the forward pass, Milliner. It's given away. McGowan just unable to keep that one in for the Sharks. Just over 20 minutes to go here at Seymour Shore Stadium. It was a draw when these two sides met earlier in the season. Doubt either wants to share the spoils again. McGowan making his best effort to ensure that doesn't happen. Scored in his last game as well, McGowan, off the bench. It's been a bright spark so far for Sutherland since entering the fray. Negro looking for a pass. Finds one in Pizzuti. Looking long for Fowler. There's Headley now with the opportunity to create something on the edge of the box for Sydney FC. Can't do it himself, but ball works its way to the feet of Marin France. Negro. Van Amerongen able to clear danger for Sutherland Sharks, and if it weren't for that brilliant intervention from Tyler Williams, Nicholas Olsen was in space, and that's the last thing Sydney FC need. Headley. Alfaro. Pizzuti being forced backwards by the Sharks. Milliner to Alfaro. Tyler Williams. Tyler Williams advancing out of his centre-back role. It's a lovely diagonal ball to Fowler. It's backwards to Cronin. Milliner. Williams. Pizzuti. Glasson. Pizzuti has it again. The space to work with as well. Cross comes in, but it's headed away by Pasevsky. Negro on the edge of the box. Limited space being made available by Sutherland Sharks. And it's McGowan who can clear. Cronin. The feet of Alfaro. Alfaro get the ball forward quickly again. Looking for Headley. Nicolau wins the aerial duel. Olsen. Square ball to Hollingdale. Has Perez on the underlap. Again stretching the play. Utilises Perez. Still Perez. Williams doing well once again. Glasson does get his turn off. Let's get around the Sharks back line. Forward ball looking for Fowler. Flag won't stay down though. Second too early there from the Sydney FC striker. We'll see Sutherland go to the bench again. Brent again to come off. And Richard Shueki will come into the fray. Shueki has 6 goals for the Sharks this season, including a brace against Marconi in round 13. Last goal coming against NSW 6 weeks ago. Funnily enough, Jordan Perez also scored his last goal in that game as well. One goal scorer from that game is already on the score sheet tonight. David Perkovich will be hoping another one can do the same. Nicolau. To McGowan. Back to Olsen. Sharks happy to be patient in the build-up. Bonilla lays it off for Olsen, who'll go from distance. That one's well wide. Headley. Nice touch with the chest. It's Cronin in support. Made a pass intending for Cronin to make the forward run, but McGowan made sure that option wasn't available. Now Cronin is pushing high as France comes deep. Sydney FC will go down the right-hand side instead. Back through the centre, Williams. Beats Shueki. And Glasson trying to be the one to get on the loose ball, but it's defended well by Sutherland. Will be a corner for the visitors though. Less than 15 minutes of regular time remaining. Approaching the business end of this match. Draw doesn't really suit either team. Definitely suits Rockdale, who we're all but getting ready to kick off now. In swinging corner for Sydney FC. It's delivered high. Headed back the other way by Milliner, but it's an easy one for Nizic to collect. Nicolau. Space to burst forward. There's McGowan ahead of him. Back to Nicolau. Patience is the key for Sutherland Sharks. Be an interesting approach from both these sides as we hit the end of this match. Of course, a draw doesn't really suit either team, but it certainly is better than a loss. You see teams shut up shop and avoid losing a precious point, or put all their eggs in one basket and push for all three. For the neutral sake, hopefully it's the latter. McGowan. Not the ball Nicolau wanted to receive. Shaping up for it to be a little bit further ahead of him. The Sharks aren't able to threaten in that passage of play. Jared Williams happy to take his time with the restart. Long ball forward for Glasson. Headed away by Perez. Hollingdale looking to play Shueki in behind. Overhit pass for the Sharks attacking midfielder. Second full season at the Sharks, Richie Shueki. Joined halfway through the 2024 season. At MacArthur Rams originally that year, where he spent some of his junior career. Also spent some time at Bulls FC Academy. Van Amerongen bursting forward. Still Sharks. Shueki. Bonilla trying to create something in the half space. Sutherland chooses to retain the ball. Perez. 1-2 is Shueki. Perez looked like he was going to gain control of it before it ran over the touchline there, but unable to do so on this occasion. Sharks have it back quickly. Milliner for Sydney FC. Sydney FC still yet to go to their bench. Alfaro looking to get Cronin in behind, who made a marauding run forward. France, who's taking Alfaro's place in centre mid while Alfaro covers Cronin. Neither of them are able to keep control of the ball, and now Shueki able to run at the Sydney FC back line. Defensive line does well to usher Shueki towards the sideline, but Shueki does find his way in behind to McGowan. Substitutes linking up. Hollingdale limited support around him. The cross does come in. Van Amerongen on the edge of the box. Trying to get on his left before going himself, but Sydney FC do enough to limit what that shot was able to achieve. Clearance only finds blue shirts again. McGowan able to get the ball in for Bonilla. That's a brilliant save from Jared Williams. Player down now for Sydney FC. Physios will be called over. It looks like might be Marin France. The floor for the visitors. Sydney FC, we're preparing a double change. Not sure if this will have an impact on things. Physio taking the time actually to come across to get the player treatment. Back to the feet now. In fact, it was Miles Milliner. That was on the floor for the visitors. We'll need to step aside momentarily as double substitution does occur now for Sydney FC. And it looks like Miles Milliner will be one of those players coming off. Cross comes in for Olsen. Headed away initially by Sydney FC. It's a lovely driven ball from Nicholas Olsen. Unfortunately, just couldn't find a teammate. Shark come forward again. Perez. Still Perez. Can almost get the cross away, but does enough to win inside a corner. Looks like there's only one substitution for Sydney FC in the end there. Adrian Travato One coming on. Instantly comes in. There's Sutherland Sharks player that took a tumble. It was James Pisevsky. Matt Yeoman's header wasn't able to be directed goalwards. Travato's come in for Ty Headley. Number 10 for Sydney FC. Making way for the last 10 minutes. Closing on the last 5 minutes now, actually. My apologies, Alfaro that came off. Headley on the ball now. There's still one sub being readied for Sydney FC. Do typically use the entirety of their substitute benches, or at least what's available to them. Nicolau trying to get physical with France there to stop the forward run. France able to get on the end of that. Cross only finds Olsen though, but awkward one for Sutherland Sharks now. One back again by Sydney FC. Cronin cuts back. It was Calder as well that came into the match. He's pushing forward on the ball now. Cleared away by Yeoman. Miles Milliner also did come off in that phase of play. Nicholas Calder entered the fray for him. Still one substitute being readied for Sydney FC. It looks like there'll be one ready for Sutherland Sharks as well. Lachlan McDonald will come in for Jamie Pisevsky. Sydney FC, meanwhile. It'll be Joseph Sikora that comes in for Marin France. Referee just making sure the substitute could be completed before play was restarted. I get their chance now, and the man who's just come into the fray for Sutherland Sharks. It's the one that gets restarted. Nicolau moving into a centre-back role. McDonald moving into the right wing-back position. So it's both players in the book for Sydney FC as well that have made their way to the bench. 3.5 minutes here at Seymour Shaw. Cross comes in for the Sharks. McDonald, the likely target, the back post. Cronin does a lot to force him back. Nicolau still pressing high. Looks like that last substitute was done with intent. Nicolau not really sitting as a centre-back, at least a traditional centre-back. Happy to push into that space that's been made available for him. In fact, here he comes now. He's going to try himself from distance. Got the direction he would have liked. They just couldn't keep it down. That's all of Sutherland Sharks substitution windows utilised. Sydney FC still have one roll of the dice left from the bench. Junior Conde, the last outfield player to be able to make way. And here come the visitors. A mix-up between McDonald and Yeoman. And it's Nicolau. It's able to clear. Only momentarily, though. Lovely reverse pass from Negro, but can't find a teammate. Defended well by Tyler Williams. Now space Sydney FC to work with. Cross only finds Matthew Yeoman, though, and ball's turned over again. Hollingdale to McGowan. McDonald. Happy to take his time, McDonald. Nicolau. Van Amerongen. Yeoman. Olsen. Forward to Perez. Perez receives the ball back from Olsen. Cross comes in. Shueki looking to get a touch on it. That rolls past a plethora of sky blue and white shirts, and it will be a Sydney FC throw. Closing on the final minute of regular time in this match. Foul on also means free kick opportunity for Sutherland Sharks. What good a goal would do them now. Olsen and Hollingdale over this one for the hosts. Imagine it'll be a crossing opportunity, this one. Olsen, it's driven in. That's a lovely acrobatic attempt. Direction unfortunately wasn't there from Bonilla. 5 more minutes here at Seymour Shore for either side to try and find a winner. What will injury time have in store for us here? Hollingdale. Olsen, who's moved to a much wider position as this game wears on. Turned over in midfield. Fowler has a chance to burst forward. Diagonal ball cut out by Nicolau. And now Sutherland Sharks who can break on the counter. McDonald. Nicolau. Cross comes in from Nicolau. Headed goal was by Hollingdale. That's a simple one for Jared Williams to collect. Sydney FC fans that have made their way out down the Princess Highway in full voice as they try and spur their side on to a winner. But it's Sutherland Sharks that come forward again. McDonald. Backwards to Nicolau. Van Amerongen back to Nicolau. Roughly a minute and a half gone of injury time so far. Bonilla to Perez. Turned over. Sydney FC have a chance to go forward. Fowler just mistimed his run. That would have been a lovely finish if that was allowed, and for that effort, he'll be going into the book as well. The MC here, Seymour Shore, doing his best to roll up this massive home crowd this evening. Main grandstand packed here, and even the hill on the near side, which is out of camera view, is full to the brim. Smithies is packed. The fence lining is packed. Plenty of Sutherland locals looking for potentially a great night here in Miranda. Junior Conde has just made way. Just come into the fray, sorry. Zach Fowler's made way just after getting that yellow card. Sydney FC do use their full suite of subs. Stray elbow there from Headley. And it's another free kick opportunity for Sutherland Sharks. A little bit of afters there, just a bit of handbags. They're very happy to wave it away. Time is running out for either side. Nizic coming up in line with Nicholas Olsen. Sharks players pushing forward to the edge of the 18-yard box. Sydney FC happy to drop deep. Want to keep Sutherland Sharks players outside of a crossing opportunity, and Jared Williams is going to be an awkward one for him to deal with, but he stands tall cheers coming from the Sydney FC fans that have made their way, and counter-attack has been launched. Travato. Still Sydney FC. Forward ball for Conde. Trying to lay it off for Travato, but turned away, and Sutherland Sharks will press forward again. Just over a minute of injury time remaining. Olsen. Long ball forward. Ushered away by Calder. After that tussle, Calder claiming it should be a free kick. It's the throwing opportunity for Sutherland Sharks. It's definitely a set-piece opportunity with the throwing prowess of Jordan Perez. Everyone back for Sydney FC. Yeoman and Van Amerongen forward for the hosts. Throw comes in, just falling short of the 6-yard box. Shouts for the handball. Hollingdale can't strike that one cleanly, and I think Sydney FC may just take their time with getting this one restarted. Ball boys, Sutherland Sharks on hand to make sure they can't waste too much time. Only seconds remaining as it looks like time has run out for either side to try and find a winner, and with that 3 points. And that will be that. Thomas Dow calling time on this one here at Seymour Shaw Stadium. Unfortunate ending for either side, who definitely won't benefit from only getting a point out of this one. It is Sutherland Sharks 1, Sydney FC 1. Our match of the round, just a reminder, St George City up against Rockdale Illington, currently underway. You can catch that one right here as well on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel, live and free. Ultimately, we did get some glimpses of what both these sides can do. A fantastic effort from Jordan Perez to bring things all square and make sure Sutherland do go home with a point. But it does open the door for Rockdale to gain some ground in that match of the round fixture that is playing out right now. Both these sides will watch that intently as Sydney FC, may lose ground on Rockdale also. Hope you've enjoyed this one. My name's Cody Ojeda. We're seeing you next week for all round 28 NPL New South Wales matches right here live and free on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. Till then, have a good evening and a lovely rest of the weekend.